Friends tell a story of early mornings, tireless work, and unyielding dedication. Strong, weathered, and resilient, these are the hands of a farmer. Today, we honor their hard work and sacrifice, and we take a moment to say thank you.
Jamaica is known for more than sand, sun, and sea. We're known for foods of the highest quality. This quality comes from the fresh ingredients provided by our food heroes. And for this, we're truly thankful.
Your efforts go far beyond the shores of Jamaica, reaching people far and wide. Because of you, the entire world gets a taste of Jamaica. For this, we thank you.
I run a chain of supermarkets, and we love to provide top quality produce to our customers. And through our local farmers, we can guarantee that. And for that, I'd like to say thank you.
You see me, I love my Jamaican food. And when you go to market, you always get fresh food. And you see for that, big up the local farmer there.
We have to big them up indeed. Our food heroes continue to defy the odds to ensure that you and I have food. The resilience and dedication of our farmers continue to amaze and inspire me. To be honest, there will be no Jamaica without the Jamaican farmers.
From as early as 3 a.m.
7 days a week.
Through rains and drought,
A farmer shows up.
So remember, every time you take a bite, thank a farmer.
There was a lot of talk about which is the most important ministry. But remember that every time you take a bite, whether in education, transport, or wherever, please thank a farmer. Good morning, everybody. My colleague, Ministers Vaz and Morris Dixon and Minister Hill, who has left us, our permanent secretaries. First, we want to start by appreciating that we are in Farmers Month. And as such, Farmers Month 2025 is being celebrated under the theme, Thank a Farmer. This campaign is designed to honor and appreciate Jamaican farmers while also encouraging broader conversations around food security and the importance of agriculture to national development. This year's observance centralizes all activities and messaging across the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining and its various agencies, including the Jamaica Agricultural Society. We would have had the official launch of Farmers Month on Thursday, April 3 at Crichton Estate in Irish Town in St. Andrew. The choice of the location really reflected the ministry's commitment to our coffee farmers in East and West Rural St. Andrew, parts of Portland, parts of St. Thomas. And as such, we would have rolled out our continuing support for coffee farmers through this launch of our Thank a Farmer campaign. In fact, we're looking to distribute an additional 20,000 coffee seedlings. We're going to be partnering with some of our exporters to help our farmers. Currently, we have 8 farm roads in our coffee areas. This is a new initiative for this year. We've allocated over $120 million to help our coffee farmers in specific areas, including parts of Portland. I was able to tour with Minister Vaz in one of those important farm roads up there in Bangor Ridge, and we're doing work in St. Thomas, we're doing work in East Rural and West Rural St. Andrew. This is a part of the ministry's continued support to our farmers. In fact, last year, over $496 million for our production and productivity program went into direct targeted support for crops like yams, ginger, onion, Irish potato, and provides resources for small ruminants, poultry, irrigation, and farm tools. In fact, we had a wonderful year in relation to our farm road program. We would have done over 50 farm roads that are major rehabilitation and would have additionally done some minor work on over 30 farm roads, bringing I think to 81 the amount of farm roads that we touched last year for a total budget of about $870 million. We continue to help our farmers with direct support. As you know, we would have broken ground for a cold storage facility in Kirkvine. That is underway. We do expect to be completed in 6 months from February, so you can look forward to that. And that is part of our drive this year to focus a lot of attention on cold storage so that when our farmers have periods of excess, they have somewhere to store it. In fact, I would have toured last week what will be the largest government-owned cold storage facility that will be in Essex Valley, over 3,000 square feet. I think it can hold about 20 containers and has processing capability. It's going to be something to behold, and we do expect it will be completed by June, and our Prime Minister will be able to open that facility. Irrigation, we continue to expand irrigation. I do repeat these things because if you listen to other places, you would not know that these things are happening in earnest. And as such, we will launch our Parnassus irrigation scheme this month for Farmers Month, which will bring an additional 300 hectares, about 600 acres, under irrigation support in South Clarendon. And we do expect the Prime Minister to commission that system on the 23rd day of April, which is part of our drive to bring 1,600 hectares under irrigation. And that does not include what we will break ground for this year, which is our Pedro Plains irrigation scheme, which will bring an additional 3,000 hectares under irrigation coverage. So for Farmers Month, we want all of you, every time you engage a farmer, the first thing you should say to them is, thank you. And we're going to have we had our farmer, Thank You Farmer church service. We're going to have our Thank You Farmer Manchester Food Festival on April 13th. We're going to have our Mount Pelier Agricultural Show on April 21, St. Mary Agricultural Show, April 21. All of this is Easter Monday. So wherever you are in Jamaica on Easter Monday, please find an agricultural show. We're in Manchester, we're in Mount Pelier and St. James, St. Mary, and also the St. Elizabeth Horticultural Show. We're going to have a Thank a Farmer Farmers Market here in Kingston and also in St. James, and a Thank a Farmer Wellness Fair where we will bring out our farmers and treat them for that day. In addition, we're going to launch our RADA mobile app roadshow. If you don't yet know, RADA has a mobile application that you can download on Android or iPhone that brings extension services to your fingertips. So for even those of you who are backyard gardeners and you're wondering what is happening to your tomato senator who planted and only got 2, we have videos now that can guide you through the process. I would love to tell you a little bit about our 4-H Expo, but that's next week, Wednesday. We're invited everybody to join. And yesterday, we had our first ever 4-H agribusiness pitch competition, where one of our REAP builders got $1 million. I said, we're one, but to be honest, we did regional competitions. We had 11 finalists, and at the end of the competition, we ended up with a tie. And instead of giving one person $1 million, they both went home with $1 million to their business. Wonderful businesses. One is a honey-based business, the other is a sweet potato-based business, and both of them showed how it is scalable. So please, thank a farmer for Farmers Month and every other month of the year. Additionally, I want to take a moment to speak about an important policy shift that was announced by the Prime Minister during his recent budget presentations, which is really changes to the vehicle import regime for agriculture and fisheries sector. You know, when I became Minister of Agriculture, we had a listening tour where what we did was went around and we had meetings in every parish with all our farmers to ask them what they wanted to see the government do for them. What were some of the challenges? How could we make them more efficient? How could we make them more profitable? And through our stakeholder engagements, a number of our farmers said to us that they face significant issues transporting their perishable produce. They wanted to see an expansion to ensure that they were getting the motor vehicles that they needed to be more profitable and efficient. Most of you may know that our farmers currently enjoy a 20% duty concession, but it was limited to pickup trucks. I'm pleased to announce that Cabinet has now approved and expansion of the categories, so our farmers will be able to get a 20% duty concession on panel vans and small trucks, small refrigerated trucks as well, that will ensure that they can expand their fleet and bring in vehicles that are better suited to treat with the perishability of their produce. In addition, we looked at the cost of a number of these motor vehicles, and we have decided that for these panel vans, small trucks for farmers, that we're going to amend the age limit for these light commercial vehicles, increasing it from 10 years to 15 years. That means that there will be lower cost, more accessible for our farmers. And I kept saying our farmers, but I'm very, very pleased to announce that for a very long time, our marine fishers were unable to access the duty concession. Our fish farmers were able to access it, our farmers were able to access it, but not our marine fishers. I'm pleased to announce that we are making the changes to ensure that our marine fishers will now be able to access the 20% duty concession. And under all of these new criteria, they will now be able to get small refrigerated trucks that they can use in their fishing enterprise, hence strengthening their ability to participate in the blue economy, increasing productivity, increasing efficiency, and lowering barriers to entry and operation. Finally, I have to look at Dana because I don't know if she recognized that with us here, it's going to be a long post-cap. One of the things that we have been recognizing is that that we have been underutilizing our various trade arrangements in relation to exports. And as such, we have been proactive in seeing how can we, one, expand the trade arrangements that we have, ensure that we get access to new markets for our farmers, but importantly, how can we guide our farmers, how can we guide our exporters to be able to penetrate those markets, to be able to access the support services, to utilize our incentives, our waivers, and to get past technical barriers. To fill these gaps, we saw it fit to develop an export clinic, which are intensive workshops and forums that will equip new and existing exporters, farmers, agro-processors, and other stakeholders with essential information, key insights, and perspectives to increase positive export outcomes. This is a collaborative effort involving our internal and external stakeholders. We've engaged the DBJ, we've engaged the JMEA. We had our first export clinic here in Kingston. It was oversubscribed and went extremely well. And we're going to be moving these export clinics right across the country. So our exporters, our agro-processors, our farmers will be coming to you to tell you what are the qualities that you need, what requirements and standards you need to satisfy, what are the opportunities. But we haven't stopped there, because we recognize that while we're going to be doing these clinics and while we're going to be expanding across the island, why not use the technology that is at our fingertips? And as such, Jamaica, we have developed now, the first time in the Ministry of Agriculture, a suite of practical tools to drive export expansion. And this is found in a one-stop platform, the Trade and Market Intelligence Portal. So what we have done is to bring together a platform which brings all the information around exporting from an agricultural standpoint in one space. It provides you with investment guidelines, profiles with calculated returns on investments, detailed information on products in demand in target markets, as well as market entry requirements, centralized access to all the ministry's market research studies, incentives, waivers, application forms, licenses for exports. So you won't have to go to multiple spaces to get all the information that you need if you're looking to export. Through our new Trade and Market Intelligence Portal, we're providing step-by-step guides on how to export agricultural items, fisheries, and some mining products, so that more of our clientele will be able to tap into these trade arrangements and ultimately will have us diversify and export more. Again, thank you and have a wonderful Farmers Month.
Thank you very much, Minister. And so you heard a lot of the announcements from Cabinet this week, and that was not all of them. We are working really hard to deliver to the people of Jamaica the kind of government that they deserve. And so I'm going to hand over to Naomi to take questions from the media. We have Minister Vaz with us, and we still have Minister Green with us.
Thank you, Minister. We have so many people online giving commendations to both ministers on their presentation. Before I get to the floor in our banquet hall, may I just give a few questions then from the ones online. Let me start with Minister Green, who was last. Minister, there's somebody online who wants you to explain how the waiver will impact the marine fishers, in particular, how it will work, how they can apply.
So we do have a fairly robust system for people who want to apply for their concession regime. For farmers, this is normally done through the RADA, your local RADA office. Clearly, there are requirements that go with it. You have to be a registered farmer. Everything I've said, you have to be a registered farmer. There has to be some verification process. So normally, for farmers, go to your RADA office. That is then streamlined through the ministry, and you will get your various concession documentation. For fishers, we're going to be running this process through the National Fisheries Authority. So again, we have National Fisheries Authority offices in almost every parish now. We have significantly built out our National Fisheries Authority, so you will go to your National Fisheries Authority. There is going to be a time lag. Now that we've announced it, we've started the work behind, as you would have just heard, Cabinet approved the expansion. So I would say, in terms of to make that first application for fishers, give us 2 months, and then you should be in a great position to move forward.
All right, thank you.